Hello and welcome. My name is Scarecrow and today I'll be casting Cerberus, eSports, and SYNRGY in the AlphaDraft Challenger League. The first few bans coming up with Thresh ban from the Cerberus side and Hecarim on the SYNRGY side, Hecarim being a very contested top lane pick at the moment in 5.6. Lulu banned out now, also a contested pick. Probably targeted at Fugues, who also plays Lulu. But now there's the next ban coming up for SYNRGY. Perhaps another maybe top lane ban that could be explored would be Maokai. Still a solid pick as ever. There might be, I know it's Morgana, contested support really. Always a strong champion. We'll have to look at what Cerberus eSports decides to ban out. Maybe picks they know that SYNRGY do very well on. For my part, I have no clue as to what specific picks are good on SYNRGY. I know Air specifically has played Syndra a few times and has done very well on Syndra. But in the end, it is it's Sivir that's banned out on the side of Cerberus eSports, as the last ban is about to come in for SYNRGY. Cerberus eSports clearly not feeling comfortable in the bot lane with a Thresh banned out, a Lulu banned out, and a Sivir banned out. Lulu could have been played, obviously, in the bot lane. But no, the last ban that comes out is SYNRGY, the new rising star of the tank junglers, with the new Cinderhawk that's really blasted out all the early game junglers and been traded out for tank junglers who just do so well. And Nautilus is locked in first pick. It's probably going to be a support Nautilus, and it's also a very contested pick right now in the meta because it provides strong support and doesn't really need that many items to apply that much CC. It's really a CC beast, and it's really looking to get out of the laning phase into team fights where he'll just lock down. It actually works in quite a few comps. Either pick when you need to single target out the ADC with ult, but that can be done in a team fight as well. So really he works into a lot of comps and he just provides a decent amount of CC. We might actually see like a double tank lineup from Cerberus eSports. We have yet to know, but Lucian and Gragas locked in for SYNRGY. Gragas is another one of those tank junglers that's highly contested, specifically because he's one of the few tank junglers who has early game pressure. Really, not probably as strong as someone like early game Lee Sins or Jarvan IV when he was still played often, but he's one of those really early game tanks, the one that can really apply pressure with the E. Lucian locked in as the ADC. It's a standard AC that really doesn't tell anything about the comp. Zac locked in the jungle. Again, I'm going to say it, those tank junglers. But Zac hasn't been picked up that much because, I mean, he does need to scale with items. But luckily for him, the Cinderhawk works absolutely marvelously with him. And I'm actually surprised we haven't seen him too often in the LCS. But then again, it might be kind of a cheese pick, as it is really straightforward. But lots of CC again, with the Lissandra locked in as well for Rakan. So there's definitely a lot of teamfight potential on the side of Cerberus eSports. The damage right now is more or less lacking with the Nautilus and Zac and the nerfs to the Lissandra Q. But Lissandra still a very, very strong pick nonetheless, and we'll have to see what SYNRGY responds with that. Still no lock-in, but the timer's ticking down. They're going to have to make a decision. Probably just know what they want, but they're eking it out. Ooh, Kassadin and Sion locked in. Now, Kassadin, with that Kassadin lock-in, really tells us that SYNRGY is going for a more late game because Kassadin still needs time to get up and running. His new buffs to the ultimate, which reduce the cooldown drastically, near level 16s, make him very spammable, and he's a very good pick, but he really needs the time to scale, to build the Rod of Ages, to get a few items going. Sion as well, great tank, will always be a great tank, but will scale particularly well in the late game since he scales infinitely basically. And in the end, it is a Graves and Irelia pickup, so Graves a very, very good laner, a very solid laner, and I think it's going to do just fine with Nautilus. Maybe not the best of burst synergy, but definitely a strong lane. And Irelia in the top lane, which is known as one of these cheese picks for the top laners. If they feel really confident in solo queue with it, they often bring it out in the Challenger League, more or less so in the LCS, because Aurelia has been known or has been countered quite heavily there, but it's still a nice cheese pick in Challenger. And for the final lock-in for what I'm guessing is going to be the top laner, it could be the top laner, the support. For them, I think something that, Janna, that scales off well with Lucian, and that's really going to help quite a lot this late game team, provide probably lots of peel for what is essentially 2 carries. In Cerberus eSports side, it's more or less a 3-lane threat. The 2 solo lanes are pretty strong, but apart from Lissandra and Graves, there's no really squishy target apart from the early game from Cerberus eSports. The later the game goes, even though SYNRGY has some great late game with the likes of Cassin, with the likes of Sion, it's just that compared to an Aurelia, who's probably going to be able to dive that back line very efficiently and surely will annihilate it if it ever gets late, I don't really know if SYNRGY has really an edge. Cerberus eSports definitely has a great early game with the likes of Graves, solid lanes with Lissandra. Aurelia was probably going to be targeted quite heavily, quite focused on the side of Cerberus, because it's probably the easiest lane to gank right now. Rakan can just Ice Claw out of danger. Fire has just so much peel from Novel. And it's really SYNRGY's comp right now that I think is a make it or break it kind of comp. There's really, if that Cassin never reaches his point, if he never gets ahead, or if he never stays even, if they fall slightly behind, basically is what I'm trying to say, that Kassadin is going to get very useless, because he's not going to be the one to chunk down the Zac, he's not going to be the one to chunk down the Aurelia, he's not going to be the one to chunk down the Nautilus. Even the Nautilus will get rather tanky, even if he gets just to the Righteous Glory. So really, it's going to be a hard game, in my opinion, for SYNRGY. But what do I know? Let's head right into the game. All the 2 teams are setting up a line of vision. Oh, they're just trading the mid lane now. But Ara's going to get the better of that with the shield from the Q. Just everyone's setting up vision in the river. Everyone's holding their lanes. I'm thinking we're going to have... Ooh, there's going to be a slight invade from the side of SYNRGY. Maybe not. They might just stay there. No, that's definitely an invade now. They really do want that vision, and they're going to force that vision. They're going to have better wards set up on this side because they didn't use their wards, or at least some of them didn't use their wards on the way while protecting river, whilst most of Cerberus eSports had used their wards. But it looks like Cerberus eSports managed to get the wards down in the top lane, and so both teams are free to predict, or are going to have the information to predict whose lane is going to go where. But look at that, Cerberus eSports, knowing that parts of that jungle wasn't awarded, decide to go the long way around, probably through the river, and can now avoid detection. So potentially the lane that they wanted was to save down bot. I really don't see them winning that lane because there's a Janna Lucian. Janna just brings, it's almost an instant win in lane. That shield really bumping up the damage an AD carry can do, all the whilst protecting him. So I don't think they're the ones who won the lane swaps. Maybe they were calling the fact that SYNRGY might have called the swap to top lane. Who knows? Lorem just dies to the wolves because that's what Sion does early game to get level 2, and he is going to join Fugues in the top lane. Fugues who took a lot of damage from his own wolves. But anyways, both laners TP up there, and there's still poking in the bot lane. So top lane won't have their teleports ready. There's going to probably be no very early dragons, no 6-minute dragons. And right now we're just focusing on the bot lane, where there's just going to be a very, I'm guessing that Lucian Janna combo is really going to bully around the Grave Nautilus, even though Nautilus has probably just so much innate tankiness that he'll probably do fine that lane anyways. So I really don't know who would have wanted the lane swap, if they would have wanted the lane swap at all. Maybe both teams are really confident in their 2v2 abilities. For now, what's expected is expected. There's the Kassadin that's having a hard time in lane, and there's an early gank from Mini. Blows the Ignite on the Lucian. Sorry about my reaction time for that. The camera is spazzing around quite a bit, but it does put a lot of pressure on Zion and Gonti, because summoners were blown, both flashes were blown, still heal on Zion and still exhaust, versus an Ignite traded and just really Mini appearing up in the bot lane for a very, very early gank. I was really expecting Gragas to be the one to come down early, because he is the bully of the early tank junglers, but it looks like Zach still has some immense pressure with that easy knock-up he can bring to the table. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Alorum's going to get a bit pushed in. Nothing too bad. But Fire and Novel definitely having the advantage now in lane, or at least can push far up. They have vision, and moreover, they have their summoners compared to Zion and Gonti, so things definitely go in their favor. But they're also actually accumulating quite a CS lead, which is not the case between Rakin and Ire. I was actually really expecting that Kassadin to be put down early game, especially by Lissandra, but it doesn't seem to be that way. Rakin playing very defensively. He has no vision of his flanks actually, so that might be well in his orders for him. Fugues gets the stun on Alorum. I'm not actually sure how you pronounce the top laner's name in Cerberus eSports, but I'm going to pronounce Fugues because in my home language of French, that's how we pronounce it. Anyways, mid lane still poking each other out. There's still a lead for Rakim, but I was expecting more of it. And as we see Ilucin coming up in the bot lane, but Novel's going to ward that, and he might get caught. He's going to get slowed, he's going to dash, he's just going to simply flash away from that, not wanting to risk first blood here, and that's probably a safe idea. The knock-up from Ilucin was still available, and that could have been a very dead, well, had he chosen. And now I realize that this Jan decided to have exhaust in lane, so definitely very scared of that pressure from Fire. It's not something I expected, to be honest with you. Or it might come in handy for the Relia if it gets out of control, but by the time the Relia gets out of control, the game's going to be tough, to say the least. But anyways, at the moment, the Relia is not out of control. She's still farming quite well, and Lucent is really not coming up there, even though there is quite extensive vision and vision denial. There's a pink ward and tri-brush up top, and since Fugues has been pushing in non-stop, you'd be guessing that the jungler would come in, but jungler's on top side right now, so we'll see if he eventually does try to go for that gank. Meanwhile, I think Mini got spotted by a ward down in bot, so they know where he is, and instantly Ire backs off quite a bit, controlling the minion wave at his turret, whilst the bot lane is deciding to recall on the side of SYNRGY, and that's not going to be BF money. That actually, it is BF money, but without pots. Remember the magical number for BF money plus pots, as in a fantastic return to lane, is that 55 CS. He's going back at 48. But all the meantime, there's going to be Fire who might want to recall. Actually, he did. He's recalling for the BF and boots as well as some pots, so he's doing quite well. He's going to be A-okay. Both of them are the same combat stats, so right now it's all about that mobility in the bot lane. But to be fair, since that Lucian has a Janna, I'm pretty sure he has the same ability as a boost, up Graves. In the meantime, Mini has finally picked up his Balmy Cinder quite early. He has decided to forego the upgrade on the jungle item, decided to go straight for bombing Cinder, which, to be fair, has been seen before. It's not an innate strategy, as we saw Novel clearing up something with a pick ward. Both teams really setting up for Dragon. I talked about not having a 6-minute Dragon like we could see in like some really early game Dragons when we have like a Nunu, for example, on the team. But really, both teams trying to control that river vision, because it feels like that bot lane is going to get heavily ganked, simply because Fire is just at this point getting further and further ahead from Zion. As you can see, Gonti trying to clear out most wards possible, but that's really telegraphing that there's probably a jungler around there. No, Ilucin has been seen for a little while, and he has level 6, so things can get pretty nasty for Fire if he pushes too far up the lane, which he is doing so right now. It might be the gank right now, but he gets spotted. Explosive class doesn't connect the way you would want it to, and there's the re-engage from Novel because the Zac is right there, and Lucin is going to have to piece out of there. That's a lost pink ward, and that's a very nice, dare I say, counter gank, really, or a very well played from Fire and Novel, reading the situation quite well, deciding to bring Novel to face check that brush, and with Mini right there, it really did help them to ease off the pressure. Fire going really aggressive. He really believed in the counter jungle opportunity from Mini. Anyways, Lucent not doing the best of ganks right now, really focusing on this bot lane, not really pressuring this Aurelia, who now has a 10 CS lead and is basically free farming at this point. His mid laners, he could have ganked Cassin early. Now Cassin is past level 6. He can jump away. He doesn't need to use his flash anymore. He's not as vulnerable as he could be. Although at this point, Cassidon's R, the ultimate, the Rift Walk, really does have quite a bit of cooldown, almost 4 seconds. And when there's a gank, if you blow it initially, it can go bad, as Mini just decides to clear out the pink wards in the river. I think they're really trying to set up for that vision for Dragon. I think once we get out of this laning phase, maybe in a couple minutes or so, that Dragon is going to become highly contested. Does not give too much in the early game, but it will scale quite well. Also got the items coming up. There's a Morale-Nomicon actually coming like for Rakim in the mid lane. Even though Athenes has been buffed quite considerably and is arguably a good purchase nowadays, Morale-Nomicon is still like the second, the usual route for most AP mages mid when they aren't against AP. Although to be fair, she's against AP right now. She might be getting the Morale-Nomicon to prevent Ilucin's regenerating passive, but who knows. Lots of vision focus on bot side, really so little on the top side. Fugasu could have been really an easy target from the beginning to the end of that laning phase up top. Really not put down, and a free farming rally is going to be very annoying. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to these team fights and the power that Fugas will bring to the table. He's halfway done through his Triforce, and he's really doing well against the Scion, which is basically a lane bully at this point. Who's spamming Decimating Smash at this point. In the meantime, the CS lead in the bot lane has become CS Chasm, and Novel engages on Zion. But thank God for that Howling Gale from Janna, because otherwise it would have been a very low Zion. As Ilucent sits in the brush in mid lane, he doesn't know he's spotted. Novel might go again. Novel has his. Oh, he connects the hook. Zion goes. Oh, Zion goes very low. And Novel on point with these hooks. He hasn't had to use his ultimate, and Fire has yet to use his. Zion is forced out of lane, and he's going to lose so much pressure. Gonti's already out of lane. That tower is probably going to go down very quickly in the bot side. No, Zion decides to stay in the end. As Mini comes in for the gank on Alorem, but it is warded, so Alorem has time to back off. but it's a great knock-up from Mini, and Aloran's ultimate has been wasted. There is genuine kill pressure for Aloran. Can they get the stun off? They don't. Are they going to tower dive him? They actually are. Mini's going extremely low. Mini has popped the passive. Fugues, oh, there we go. Mini gets first blood, but it's a return kill on the side. And meanwhile, the bot lane decides to get Dragon, but Aloran with the outplay and the double kill on a really poorly executed tower dive from Cerberus, eSports, top laner, and jungler. Oh, but oh god, Gonti gets pulled. I'm just going for harass, I guess, not for the actual kill. But Mini showing in the top side and really failing his gank has enabled iLucent to get a Dragon in the bot lane that was pressured, which is really awkward. It's very, very weird how that turned out. I guess iLucent was really waiting for Mini to start ganking the ally to make her snowball out of control. But really good play from Aloran. Even blew the ultimate and failed to get really that far away with it. Really did well to get them under turret, and really the greed from Cerberus to get first blood was just intense. There was really no reason for that turret dive, especially solo and so early. And again, Novel really on point with these hooks. Zaun really feeling the pain in the mid lane. Now it's escalated almost to a 30 CS lead when these minions under turret will leave. So not having the best of times, and now Aloran's almost back in the game. He has a Frozen Heart, he has Mercury's Treads. He can get bullied, but not too hard at this point. Fugues really, I want to say, throwing away the small lead he has, but he's still going to be a menace. I think if anything, it's enabled iLucent to get back in the farm game for Mini. At least they secured Dragon actually, so it was a great play on the side of SYNRGY to get Dragon as soon as Mini was shown topside. But I still think Cerberus eSport is considerably in the lead. Actually, it shows in there in the gold lead right now, almost a 2k gold lead. It's really, really strong, even though they conceded more kills, even though they conceded Dragon. They actually did get the turret. That's what happened that I failed to see earlier in the bot lane, in the mid lane. What am I saying? The mid lane's turret was down. So that is just simply Ire just losing his lane. Although he did get nice farm and he has his Rod of Ages now. We're gonna keep walking over the game and seeing what happened over that time, that short burst of excitement where the entire map decided to unfurl really during this pause. We don't quite sure how long it takes, but there was lots of stuff that happened really. Again, the gang top lane that completely backfired, and if anything, that has gone Aloran back in the game. Just look at the CS right now; it's almost dead even. But Mini's still so far ahead of iLucent, so I think he should be just fine. He got first blood as well, so he's well on his way to his items. He has so much added health. The Cinderhawk is complete on him. He has some other health items, so definitely starting to feel the power of the Cinderhawk for him. While iLucent is only on that Cinderhawk, so definitely something to look out for. Zac is definitely stronger right now than this Gragas. Although this Gragas has his ultimate, then again, you might say that Zac does too. In the mid lane, Rakim and Rakim winning this lane, but to be fair, it's expected, and with only a 20 CS difference between the mid laners in favor of Lissandra, it's to be expected really, and I think it just sets up Ire really well. As long as he didn't really lose lane, or even if he did, if he lasted through and decided to, first of all, not feed, which was always nice, but if he lasted through that laning phase, he really would get to that late game. If he got to that late game, he really will be able to have so much more impact, because he's going to be so much more mobile than that Lissandra, who once she wastes that potential ult and potential Zhonya's, which is actually not coming up at the moment. It looks like it might be an Abyssal Scepter. The pause is over, so we're back in the game. The bottom turret has been destroyed as well. Oh, and the ultimate lands on the Janna. Janna's going to be pretty close to death. as Cerberus decides to basically invade on their jungle, and having taken mid lane and bot lane turret, effectively that jungle is almost half theirs. As we focus on the top lane, where iLucin is coming for a gank, but Fugues really doesn't care much. He's just here for CS, and he runs away, taking tower shots. He's really here just to... He's trying to execute himself, but there's a global collapse from everyone on the map, and that Kassadin, there's no way he's going to run for that Kassadin. He's going to give the kill over to Kassadin. I don't know. I think I might have rather wanted to have that on the Scion rather than the Kassadin, who has been put down not very efficiently, but has been put down at least a tiny bit. There's a teleport that comes in from Alorem. Really want the kill on Zac from SYNRGY, and blowing that teleport, I think, was not the smartest idea. It's not on a turret, it's on a ward. That teleport is going to be on a long timer, and meanwhile Cerberus's bot lane has gone to the top lane to take out the last outer turret, and it's really good rotations from the side of Cerberus eSports, who are getting 3-man gank now, but there's the teleport from Fugues, cancelled. But there was pressure there for a few seconds. But oh god, Fire is going to be in a lot of trouble. He is stuck between the decimating smash, and he goes down to the Scion. There's just too many people here on the side of SYNRGY, and that top lane turret is also going to fall. But Zion against Fugues 1v1, you're not going to win against this Aurelia. And now the Aurelia is getting fed. Everyone's getting fed from each side. That Ayer is going 2-0-1. Ayer is going to be beastly if he keeps going on this in this manner. Fugues protected bot lane, managed to get a kill on himself. Zion is going to be set so far back from those kills. All the while, the Kassadin from SYNRGY is going to be set so far up from these kills. There's really a lot happening, lots of trading, really. And now, that's one turret for SYNRGY, their first turret, the top turret. And it's a 2-5 score, still a gold lead for Cerberus eSports, almost 2k gold lead. So the gold lead hasn't really changed too much after all this action. But there are signs from SYNRGY that they will react at 1.0, and that was about to die anyways. No sign that SYNRGY are reacting, but Cerberus keep trading. And there's a hook on that tanky Scion. You're really not dealing any damage to him. They just really want to focus on this turret, which they're going to get. There we go. The turret's done. Pink ward cleared next to the Baron. We're going to have to start thinking about that as it spawns in about 1 minute 30 seconds. And Gonti deciding to prioritize on the dragon, who's going to spawn in 30 seconds, but Fugues decides to gank. Oh, but he flashes away. Like I said, the R cooldowns a bit too long for now. He can't really spam those until he gets level 16. He will not be able to spam those. He's past level 11. He has rank 2 on the ultimate, but it is not enough to get away so easily. You're not the hyper-mobile Kassadin you used to be. And now there's a push from Cerberus eSports, who decides to siege. Really not the calm for it, but there's SYNRGY is just caught with their pants down as they were just trying to do Drake. And now there's an engage from Lorem. Takes down the Aurelia, forget the Aurelia carry, and Ayer, the greatest chaser, with a Kassadin, the greatest chaser there's ever going to be in the game, as Zion decides to basically clear a wave with that culling. But Fire under pressure because, oh god, and a great knock-up from Mini, who barely escapes. Don't overdo it. That Kassadin will and can dive you. And what looked like SYNRGY getting caught with their pants down, trying to do dragon and trying to stay in their jungle whilst having their mid lane pushed in, just ends up with a great engage from Lorem, who locks down the Aurelia, who effectively enables, takes her out of the fight, and really brings Mini solo because Kassadin is a great chaser. He's just going to find you. He's just going to get you. He's going to get you slowed. He's going to chase you. He doesn't have the biggest power. But right now, with a needlessly large rod, he's definitely going to be more powerful than ever. And really, I think Cerberus had the good idea on the rotation, but really, they themselves got caught with their pants down at the end. Blue buff being transferred to Air, that's going to be very crucial. Mini starting to get tankier and tankier. Bought some Giant's Belt now. Mercury's Tread's finished for him, and with the Cassin, who's probably going to be the main threat of SYNRGY, I think I start to understand why Rekin decided to buy Abyssal Scepter. Rekin holding on actually to his ultimate for that entire fight. Great disengage from Mini with the Let's Bounce, and I believe Novel had already used his Death Charge. So now FanCast is considerably behind. They've targeted the Aurelia, but oh, there's a flash wasted from Gonti. Well, wasted. Flash used from Gonti because he felt the pressure. In the end, SYNRGY did secure the dragon, so they managed to get best of both worlds, protect their own middle tower, take down the first inner tower, the first outer tower from Cerberus eSports, and get the dragon. So gold lead has really shrunk to 1k gold, but it's not very telling with the late game that Cassidon brings to the table, because let's be honest, most of the gold right now is funneled onto him. He's 2-0-2. It's a very, very scary Cassidon for still a very squishy Aurelia, who's just finished Triforce, mind you, so she can now feel free to build tanky, but she is going to be just squishy for that little part of the mid game where Cassidon right now is effectively already gone with, so he's really going to be very strong. Ilucent zoning them off. Ayer coming in for, I'm guessing is a flank, but Alorem was already there, and Alorem decided to engage. Ayer gets Death Charge. You can ult away from that, but that's going to follow you. No ult from Novel, so that immobile backline, well, immobile. The backline of Zion is safe from that very crucial ultimate. Not safe from Rakin's ultimate, which in my opinion should have been used on Ayer instead of the Nautilus ultimate, which is so telegraphed and so easy to get away from, or at least put distance between you and Nautilus, or the other team at least, especially when you're cast in. Instead, when you're locked down by the Lissandra ult, way less things you can do there, but he wasn't about to get caught by that. This flash was down as well. Actually, all flashes down from SYNRGY, whilst most flashes from Cerberus eSports are available. Pink wards galore in the inventories of SYNRGY. Trinkets actually upgraded left, right, and center. There's a double sight stone, but there's double yellow trinket upgrades. So really, they're really focusing on that vision. And if we look at the vision really in the bot side, the side where there was dragon, lots of control from Cerberus, but really it was too late because SYNRGY got to rotate there because Cerberus was so low. And now everyone's just pushing back these lanes, waiting for the next objective to spawn. I think it's going to be a dragon contest, in my opinion, while Gonti clears a few of the wards around river, but he's going to have his task set out for him because there's quite a few wards in there, although some of them have expired now, so that's less job for him, I guess, but also less gold. So Rakin goes back to the mid lane, CSing like a beast, really, let's be honest. Out-CSing that Cassidon very well, but this Cassidon is kills, and he's looking at that tasty Zac, maybe a bit too healthy for him. Aurelia finally gets a Spectre's Cowl, really respecting the Cassidon because he's going to be the main threat. Lucian was set up so far behind, no one has to be bothered by him. And still that same CS lead for the Graves, who's more farmed up, who's died the same amount of times, but honestly has done so much more work than Zion in this game. And the middle and the turret, ooh, that was close. Alorem locks in FanCast still really tanky, but there's disengage, and now there's the frozen tomb for Makin. But Ayer has really good chase potential, and the explosive cast brings everyone away, but it doesn't matter because Ayer's ultimate is still so good. 3, maybe 4 second cooldown, it doesn't matter. He has the mana expenditate. He can bring down this Cerberus team. Cerberus, oh god, you're going to get caught very easily, but the Howling Gale doesn't connect. He's really trailing around, he's making them lose time, and really that's all he needs to do. If he can delay SYNRGY from getting objectives And effectively, since all their lanes are pushed, this is exactly what's going to happen. He's really going to be kills for SYNRGY, but not much else. A few kills on the board, I'm guessing, for the Gragas. One more assist on the Kassadin. It's still more gold for the Kassadin that really shouldn't have been there, but oh, the culling used just to clear away on the side of Zion. He's going to back to base, but you're feeling that Zion really is far behind compared to the other AD carry, who might have 2 deaths, but just has been doing, like I said, more work than Zion this game. And another dragon is spawned. Vision control definitely in the favor of SYNRGY, who, well, got to put down their vision once Cerberus was death, or close to death at least. They pulled out the dragon, but they're going to disengage because the entirety of Cerberus is right there. But not the entirety of SYNRGY is. So that pink ward is going to be lost, and Scuttler for Cerberus as well. It's a tricky position to engage in. That Ayer is not full health, which he really needs to be to dive that back line, which he can do. He has the Zhonya's. He can dive the back line very easily. A vision getting cleared out by Cerberus. It's a really good idea. And there's no vision, lots of vision denial from Cerberus. They might get the jump on them. Depends. Oh god, they're forsaking another pink ward, really. Oh, and Ilusen gets locked down. He is going down. And Zion getting the Nautilus charge. Now it's gone to Ayer, but Ayer can set up. He can run away. Can he run away fast enough? Oh god, great hook from Novel. Doesn't connect, but he managed to get in his path, in range for the slows. Cerberus going mental in this fight. Not really mental in the fight in the sense they pulled out the great plays, but really strangling the vision back out from SYNRGY and really engaging on that Gragas that was really too far up, or at least alone, separated from the team. They really did a good job there in getting the vision down, using the vision, strangling them out of the objective, and they pick up their first dragon. And that first dragon now is more precious than the first dragon SYNRGY had around 12 minutes ago. And the gold lead is reflected in Cerberus's great call there, where they're almost 3,000. They're actually precisely 3,000 gold in the lead. Lucent, he picked up a few kills earlier, but has he really been playing all that well in the bot lane? With the failed bot lane ganks, getting caught there at the dragon pit. There's really not much we can say about that. Oh god, he gets poked from the Baron. Baron might become an objective quite soon, actually. I was maybe a bit eager to say that it was an objective that was coming up since it had just spawned. I'm maybe too used to Fnatic taking them early. But it can definitely be an objective. A clean team fight from Cerberus, if that Cerberus had the ability to chase as much as Ayer had the potential to chase. They could have cleaned up SYNRGY. And now they're straying them out of this top lane jungle, and really, Novel really going to get engaged on. But oh god, Novel taking quite a bit of damage. Novel's going to go down. Is he? No, he is going to go down from the Ignite from Kassadin. And Ilusen is going to go down as well. Zion's actually doing work in this one. Ayer just dove everything using the Zhonya's. Is he going to get out? He's probably not going to get out. Zion, not enough for that team fight. He put down so much damage earlier in that fight, but just couldn't follow up. And Fire was just free hitting that entire fight. Ayer decided to focus the support, which was a good idea. There was a lot of tankiness. There was a lot of CC from that support, but that support's also very tanky. It took way too much time. And after that, it was just good use from the ultimates from Akim for a mini. Fugues, which is finally getting quite tanky, took a bit of time, and now Cerberus has cracked open the base. And that's half the battle, to be honest. That's a lot of work they just did, and winning that team fight in the mid lane. A team fight where they originally got engaged upon. If I'm correct, SYNRGY was basically full health, had everyone there. They had the choke point controlled. They had vision of the choke point. So there was definitely there's vision right now from Cerberus up top, but in that particular choke point, there was vision from SYNRGY, and they did fight quite well. And then they went for the mid lane, and really that fight was very, very confusing. Things going left and right. But again, good uses of the ultimate from Novel, even in death. Good uses of the ultimate from Akim. Zion actually did quite a bit of work in the back line. He was untouched for most of the fight. He was actually the last one to go down. And he played that fight quite well. As a standard AD carry should play it far back, free hits. But Fire, so much more ahead. He's got that Infinity Edge. He's got the Phantom Dancer. Don't think he had the BF sword. To what I think was an Infinity Edge Brutalizer on the side. Maybe a finished U-moves on the side of Zion. Last Whisper definitely wasn't there on that last team fight, or I may be mistaken. Lots of things happened in the team fight. We haven't looked actually at that at the items, but again, I think Cerberus really respecting the cast, and then the Zac actually going for a locket, and the Novel going for, oh, there's another sight in the mid lane. Zion goes forward. Is that really a good idea? Is that really where you want? Mini's in range. Mini goes for the Let's Bounce. Lackluster Let's Bounce, and really taking more damage than he's going to give off. But Fire, so fed, just decides to manhandle it and become his own frontline. This Fire has definitely got some man pants on today, deciding to carry the game, or at least have the carry part of the ADC role. But now there's lots of contests for the river area again, and that can only mean one thing. It looks like a Baron dance. Not something we usually see in the NA series, unless you're Dignitas. But definitely quite important. The EU, the Dragon dance, the Baron dance, always very important. Actually, talking about Dragon spawning back up quite soon. So there's going to be a contest for that, and oh, Cerberus eSports with a bold call starring Baron, and really just SYNRGY's right there. Do they really want to do this? Teleport comes in, they have to get off of this Baron now, and oh god, failed claw from Akim, but they kind of like loosened again. What are you doing so far from your team? Oh, it's because Fugues is distracting the entire backline, and Zion gets exploded, double kill from Rakin, and they're just following that Ayer. That Ayer is now level 15, not level 16. He still can dash pretty far away, mind you, but he can get caught now. He's going in a totally different direction. Novel zoning out the tank, really attesting to his own tankiness right there. But great fight, great catch from Cerberus, really. Ilucin getting zoned out of the fight, so no disengage with the barrel. Alorum getting zoned out of the fight, and really catching Zion so far in the mid lane. Wasn't really that far, but considering the position they were in, they looked like they were about to catch Cerberus in the middle of Baron, and Rakin having failed his claw, it looked like maybe the best opportunity for singling out target had been lost. But really coming out with a great ult. Well, he'll tell me it's just a point and click, but it's a good point and click. It was good positioning. It's that, and it's something. And now Cerberus eSports has equalized Dragons. So the early lead in Dragons from SYNRGY definitely not gotten or hasn't been capitalized on, and I don't think we're gonna look at a 5-dragon fight. And with that off the table, and the lead that's accumulated for Cerberus eSports, a 7,000 gold lead at 34 minutes. It's starting to look bad for SYNRGY, especially if they keep getting caught out. I want to highlight Ilucin's positioning in these last fights. He's really getting caught out, separated from the team at an angle. The team was mid lane, he was in his jungle. And he decided to go for that Baron from the jungle, whilst the team decided to go through the river. And that's just a bad call. It's the faster way, but it's a bad call. You have to stick together as a team. There's lots of AoE. They're gonna... Anyways, rant over. They're going to pop the Righteous Glory, actually, and Novel's just going to get chunked down. But a great ult on Ilusen that decisively just destroys the team from SYNRGY. And great knockups from Mini there. Rakin decides to cheekily kill the Kassadin on very low health. The Kassadin was trying to escape, but that Lissandra Claw got him for damage. And SYNRGY might look to finish this. Long death timers, there's almost 30 seconds. There's only a support in the base, and SYNRGY's gonna lose this game out of really thin air at this point. And with a 10,000 gold lead, Cerberus eSports wins their first game of the AlphaDraft Challenger Series. My name is Scarecrow. Thanks for watching.